go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just look it up. Don't be scared. looking back, mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack.
When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stop, just give me up, don't stop.
What's shaking, everybody? Welcome into What's Shaking Titans. I just want to take the time to thank everybody for taking the time to tune into What's Shaking Titans. Real quick, guys, I want to introduce somebody to y'all. This guy is not only a great friend of the show, but he is now also a part of our What's Shaking Titans team. So without no further ado, I would like to introduce our new co-host, Mason. Mason, how's it going, buddy?
Man, it is going great. How are you doing?
Man, I'm awesome, man. Really excited for football to be back. Currently got the game on in the background with the Chargers and Chiefs. Just excited to be back in football, to talk in football, the whole 9 yards. Man, with all that being said, guys, we have a jam-packed episode for y'all here today. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to be unpacking, but before we do, if you're not yet subscribed to What's Shaking Titans, please take the time to hit the subscribe button, as well as turn on notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our video, and we'll pop up more often. As always, we are normally on Facebook. However, I'm having some issues with my studio, so this video will be uploaded at a later time on Facebook. So it's exclusively on YouTube right now. But with all that being said, let's hop in here. We're gonna be starting out with a week 1 recap, guys. So with that being said, we're gonna break down the first half. Mason, what did you see in the first half of the Titans game that either concerned you or excited you about the Tennessee Titans?
Oh, it was a great first half. We went 13-0. Just great all around. Great offense, great defense. Jeffrey Simmons, just great player.
Yeah, Big Jeff had himself a day on Sunday against the Giants, along with Bud Dupree, both of them teaming up for a strip sack. The strip sack fumble came from Jeffrey Simmons, and the fumble recovery came from Bud Dupree. But both of them, showing their presence on the field. And real quick, guys, we're going to go to our comments here. We got Weston, who says, W co-host. So, yeah, man. Let me fix my graphics on that real quick. That didn't look good. There we go. It's all fixed there, guys. All right. So yeah, man. Both Bud Dupree and Big Jeff had a day. I'd say kind of all throughout the game. But they definitely kind of had a point where the whole team just kind of fell apart, and we'll get into all that here in just a little bit. But before we do, let's go into the rest of the things we've seen from the first half. Mason Kinsey, coming right out the gate with that awesome punt return, man. That was got everybody fired up, and then the offense came out, on fire, on point. Tannehill was very accurate right out of the gate, wasn't missing no passes. I think his first pass was a miscommunicated route between Treylon Burks and him, and the ball sailed over Treylon Burks' head. But other than that, we seen a lot of good things from every aspect of the team, whether it was special teams, whether it was offense, whether it was defense. The play calling in first half was spot on. The coaching was spot on. You know, they looked really solid, and it showed at halftime with the score. With the shutout over, like you said, the shutout over the Giants. So, is there anything in particular that you might have had concern with that might have showed itself in the first quarter,
First quarter,
or in the first half?
first half. Just we got some points, but not every point was a touchdown. We did get some field goals, but we're looking for a lot of touchdowns, and we just weren't able to get it. And we just need to work on being able to score every time. Because if we cannot do that against Josh Allen, then it's not going to go good.
Yeah, I agree. We have to be able to put up points, and when we get later on in the episode, I will be breaking down my thoughts on Tannehill, and we have to be able to drive that football down and put up 6, not 3, 6. That's just me, man. Like, we have to be able to put up points. So guys, like we said, Titans held on strong throughout the first half. When we came out of halftime, things kind of started falling apart. What do you think about Cal Phillips' his muffed punt catch?
It was just very hard to watch. It was not good for us or him. Just all around. That is what put them in field goal range, and it really did not help us for the rest of the game. Gave them all the momentum.
Yeah,
it was not good.
That was definitely a huge momentum play for the Giants there. When we had our meeting about this episode, we kind of got to talking about is this something to be concerned about with Phillips going forward? So I'd like to ask you the same question. Do you think that this is something that we should be concerned about going forward with Kyle Phillips, or do you think that he'll be able to learn from it and bounce back?
Well, it is only week 1. Anything is possible. Week 1 as a starter. Just everything is changing for everyone. It's just a scary time for him. I think it's definitely a bit of a concern, but there's also, like I said, since it's week 1, who knows? We'll have to see next week. Will he be able to do it? Will that happen again?
Yeah. So for me, I would say, like you said, it's week 1. Cal Phillips is a rookie. And everybody who you put in that situation will eventually have a muffed punt catch, and I think the way he showed bouncing back after that, because it was him catching the ball that put us in field goal range to put us into a situation to where we could go for the win right there at the end, even though we missed the field goal, and it cost us the game. He was the reason we were in that situation. Tannehill targeted him, I think, 3 or 4 times on that drive, forcing the ball to him even, and so that says a couple different things to me right there about Tannehill and Kyle Phillips. That tells me that Tannehill really relies and trusts in Kyle Phillips as a catcher, and probably as one of the top targets, kind of like he did with AJ, because that's one thing he did with AJ. He trusted AJ, so he would force feed AJ the ball sometimes. Right. And we kind of seen a couple of signs of that to Kyle Phillips. For me personally, I think I would have rather seen him try to force feed that ball to Treylon Burks a little bit more, but we'll get into that later. So what we did see from Kyle Phillips, Was it exciting?
It was definitely exciting, but he did have a few drop passes, which is not good for us. But he did have some great catches. So it was just he had good parts and bad parts of the game.
Definitely. And I think that's to be expected. What was he, a fifth round draft pick?
Fifth or sixth, I think.
Fifth or
So
sixth, yeah.
for
So
what he's been doing, it's great.
yeah, so I think he has a lot of room to grow. I think his ceiling is pretty high. Um, I think it's still too soon to call any comparison or base your opinions of this man and the rest of his NFL career. I think it's way too soon. When Kevin Byard came in and was undrafted for the Tennessee Titans, and we or he was a walk on, one of the two. But anyway, when all that happened, he didn't come out the gates being the best cornerback in the NFL. It took time. It took development, and the more reps you get, more live reps you get, the more comfortable you get, in your play call or in your play role. Whether it's a receiver or tight end or QB or offensive line, defensive line, cornerbacks, whatever it is. Once you get time to practice and develop and get that repetition, and everything slows down, and you're able to think a lot clearer, and your body reacts a lot faster. So I think the future is really bright for Phillips. So let's talk about Derrick Henry's performance from Sunday's game against the Giants. What are your thoughts of the return of the King? And do you think he had a stellar performance, a decent performance, or a bad performance?
I would have to say decent, because he was able to get a decent amount of yards per carry, but he would be tackled after the first or second person, which we need him just to break through all those people, and he can get so many more than he would have had.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people really was not a lot of people, but certain people, was really out on Henry, and I've told that person, plenty of times that it's week one. First of all, Henry had a stellar performance. I wouldn't say a great performance, but it was a decent performance, like you said. His first down, and I want to kind of give you all the stats on this. And these stats were given on 104.5 The Zone. It's on the install with Greg Coroshell and Buck Rising. So if y'all want to check that out, it's on 104.5 The Zone's YouTube channel, and you can usually go on there and find those episodes of the install in their playlist. But Greg Coroshell gave the stats for Derrick Henry. And on first downs alone, Derrick Henry had 17 carries for 73 yards. He averaged 4.3 yards per play. And in my opinion, any head coach in the NFL is going to want their running backs to have those kind of numbers on first down, because those are stellar numbers on first down. So, the one thing I noticed from Derrick Henry's performance, the only thing that was missing from that performance was those explosive plays down the field. He had one explosive play, and then it just kind of simmered out when the offense kind of simmered out, And, that could be attributed to a lot of different things. But, Henry was getting hit often and hit hard. But at the end of the day, he had an average Derrick Henry game. He just didn't have those explosive runs. So I think anybody who is looking to write Derrick Henry off this, at this point, I think that would be a foolish mistake, because, the Kings showed a lot of explosiveness, a lot of strength. He showed us a lot of the old Derrick Henry stuff, Now it's just time to put all of it together. So what are your thinks? What do you think about, Derrick Henry's possible performance against the Bills. Do you think that we should be concerned about Derrick Henry and the way he performed from Week 1, or do you think Derrick Henry will have a bounce back game?
Oh, I definitely think he'll have a bounce back game, especially after taking a loss. They definitely want to prove that he has not gone down in skill, and he will show so much skill in this next upcoming game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Real quick, guys, we're about to go to a quick break, and when we do, we're going to come back and we'll be breaking down our thoughts and our opinions on how the rest of that game unfolded, and the coaching staff, as well as we'll be breaking down the Week 2 matchup on Monday Night Football with the Tennessee Titans and Buffalo Bills. So, guys, when we come back for break, we'll be breaking all that down, so stay tuned. Need a mobile home moved, re-leveled, siding, skirting, or in-home repairs? Call Blackhawk Mobile Service and Repairs, located in Dixon, Tennessee, but can travel all over the state. Call 615-804-6175, ask for Quincy, and get a quote today. Join us live every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Central Time and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for an all-new episode of What's Shaking Titans. What's shaking, everybody? We are back here live with y'all. We want to, first of all, just take the time to thank everybody who's tuning in live right now and everybody who'll be tuning in live later. I know I've been really busy, so there wasn't a lot of promotion out there for this episode this week, so I do apologize. But, for everybody who is going to be tuning in or tuning in later, we do want to take the time to thank y'all. And if you're not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take this time to hit the subscribe button, as well as turn on notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Give us a big old thumbs up. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our videos, and it will pop up more often. One other thing, guys. As you can see right down here, we have, let me fix that. Right down there. We have links in our descriptions to all of our different social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We also have Spotify, Anchor. You're currently watching us on YouTube. This is our YouTube channel. So, we just want to take the time to thank everybody for checking us out and tuning in to What's Shaking Titans. One more quick announcement before we get back on topic here. Be tuning in to us Monday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time for our coverage of the Tennessee Titans Buffalo Bills game. That is Monday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. So, Mason, man, we've talked about Phillips, we talked about Jeff, we talked about Bud Dupree. We talked about muff punt catch. Let's talk about the coaching staff, man. What is real quick? Actually, before we do that, let me throw in Weston again. He said, I don't think we should be worried about Henry. I think he'll definitely pick it up soon. Yeah, I agree 100% with you. Henry has been a solid, piece for us, in years past. He's shown us that he is reliable and that he heats up, as the year goes on. So, I'm still 100% in on my prediction I called for Derrick Henry this year. I'm still 100%, behind him about being the number one running back this year as well. So yeah, I'm still in. But yeah, Mason, what is your thoughts about the coaching staff, bro?
Offensive coordinating didn't exactly do as I planned. A little rough during the game. Did not like it very much.
Yeah, Todd Downing, our offensive coordinator, had he had a stellar first half. Let's clarify that. He had a stellar first half, and then he just had a couple really boneheaded decisions, in the second half when the game was on the line and it counted the most. And to kind of get into that, the first play I'll bring up is the 3rd-and-1 play. It was a tight end. Oh my goodness. It was a runaround to the tight end, and as soon as that ball was handed to Chig was already 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Like, you hand the tight end the ball running sideways, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage on a 3rd-and-1 play with the game on the line. And that play, was stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. And after that, the Giants went on to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to basically win the game. A lot of people are out on Todd Downing. Fire Todd Downing has been the number one thing trending on Twitter. Well, not the number one thing, but it has been trending on Twitter. But I think, honestly, it's a little too soon to really get into talking about firing Todd Downing. I think Todd Downing showed a lot of good things still. But definitely shows a lot of the same old mistakes that he always does. Real quick, guys, I want to bring in another comment here. Tennessee Kid 90 says, tighten up, Blue Heart. Good evening, guys. So good evening. And Tennessee Kid 90, that's my wife. So I want to give a quick shout out to my wife. I hope you're doing good, baby. She's actually out eating some Mexican, so I hope it's good. Anyway, that 3rd-and-1 play, I mean, why not call a quarterback sneak? Hey, let Tannehill just bloop for a yard. Why not hand it to Derrick Henry, who has proven he is getting you more than a yard? 4.3 yards per play is his average. Why not hand him the ball and let him plow forward? Or Dontrell Hilliard. Whatever you do, run it forward. That I think that would be the best decision if you need to get a yard in a critical situation when the game is on the line. Especially after your defense has already showed some signs of struggling coming out of second half. It was really questionable. I don't know, man. Like, I think Tim Kelly, coming in there to be I think he's the receivers coach or something like that, or pass coordinator or something like that. And basically all he's doing is helping with the passing game, because, that was an area that Todd Downing struggled with. And I know a lot of people are like, okay, well, let's let Downing go and let's let this guy come in. But, I think Mike Vrabel also shows a lot of trust. in Todd Downing. And, real quick, I want people to also understand this and know this about Todd Downing is when we had, one of the best offenses that we've had in the past, 6 years, which was the 2020 offense. Todd Downing, Arthur Smith was our offensive coordinator, but Todd Downing was the one calling our plays for us while we were in the red zone. And a lot of people don't know that. So Todd Downing, is a part of the reason we had one of the best offenses that we had under Arthur Smith. He was the reason we were so successful in the red zone. Now, once those chains were handed over and we let go of Arthur Smith, he went to the Atlanta Falcons, or AKA Atlanta Titans, and Todd Downing took over. Downing hasn't showed that stableness as a play caller. He does make those bad decisions, from time to time. It'd be very interesting to. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Imagine it's 3rd and 1, and you have the number 1 running back in the league. That got it was 4.3 carries, yards per carry.
Yeah, 4.3 yards.
Ryan Tannehill, which can run, he can pick up some yards, but you let a backup tight end try to pick up the first down.
Yeah,
really...
and you don't even run them straight down the field. You run them sideways across the field. That baffles me. It's just like, man, that was just one of those poor play calls. And I mean, he did the same thing, making some poor decisions, last year. So hopefully it's something that they'll be able to correct. I think Todd Downing is a good coordinator. I don't think he's a great coordinator, and I definitely don't think he's head coach material. And because of that, I'll find it hard for Mike Vrabel and John Robinson to actually want to move on, because he is good, even though he's not great. And I think that kind of provides you with a stable coordinator for a duration of time, instead of having a stellar year and then losing that, because what happened? We had a stellar year on offense. We lost Matt LaFleur. He went to Green Bay to be the head coach. We had a stellar year again on offense, and what happened after that? Well, we lost Arthur Smith. He went on to be the head coach at, Atlanta Titans. JK. Real quick, your dad hopped in here. James Ryan, he said, what are your thoughts on how we used Robert Woods? Man, yeah, so that's a great question there. That was somebody I was personally overlooking when we were in our production meeting for this episode. I think Woods showed great hands, definitely showed that veteran experience on Sunday. I really wish Tannehill would have targeted him more. Him and Treylon Burks, I felt like didn't get enough targets. I felt like Tannehill did kind of force feed Kyle Phillips there for a little bit, and maybe that tells you, like I said earlier, maybe that kind of talks about that relationship between Ryan Tannehill and Kyle Phillips. Maybe it's just that Tannehill trusts him more than he does everybody else. I don't know. But I really wish Tannehill would have targeted, Phillips and or not Phillips, sorry, Treylon Burks and Robert Woods more, because both of them were very productive when they were targeted. I think Woods is going to be, he's going to be decent for us if we can get him going. If we can't get him going, we could have another Corey Davis on our hands. But if we're able to get him going, I think he could be, the same type of receiver he was for the Rams for the Titans. And we really need that right now, especially going against the Bills next week. Let's see. Man, so let's talk about that final timeout. the final timeout, the very 18 seconds left on the play clock, Tannehill goes to break the huddle. Mike Vrabel confused on the sideline, not sure if Tannehill got the right play call, so Mike Vrabel wastes the timeout. The last timeout. But what is your thoughts and opinions on that?
Even if he did have the wrong play call, it still would have been important to try to get any yards we could. We had enough time to run it, had enough time to pass it, to do anything, and we still weren't able to do it because of the timeout.
Yeah, man, that
Just,
I saw and I felt like, and this is just my opinion, guys, so don't blast me. I mean, don't blast us, but this is just my opinion. I think the Titans finally had a game where the coaches had a breakdown, not the players, but the coaches. And the reason I say that is because if you go back and you watch the game, that, like we said earlier, they came out first half stellar. I mean, they look on point, offense, defense, special teams. We were playing ball on all three phases for sure, and that's what you want. You want to play good, productive ball on all three phases, and the Titans did that for sure. After we went to halftime and when we came out, it was just the players' energy level wasn't there. We had some crazy play calls on offense. And I think it was just one thing led to another, which zapped the team's, mojo from them. The one thing players can't overcome in a game is coaching. And I think, Sunday's loss was, attributed to the coaches, more so than the players. I want to say this, though. I find it very concerning that Mike Vrabel decides, instead of going for those extra yards with Tannehill, to just go ahead and kick it. We definitely had enough time, and Kyle Phillips was obviously being force-fed the ball and was right there on the sidelines every time. And why not get another pass off to Kyle Phillips, or get us 5-10 yards closer, or give it to Derek, get us another 4.3 or 4.2 yards closer than what we were. But where I'm going with this is my concern is, how come the coaching staff don't trust Tannehill to go and push us a little bit further down the field? My personal opinion is this. Yes, Tannehill had a good game. At the end of the day, though, Tannehill only was able to put us into a position to win the game. He wasn't able to win us the game. And we need a quarterback who is able to win us a game. If we want to make it eventually to the Super Bowl, we have to have a quarterback who's able to go up there, put up points. We have to have a coaching staff that believes in their quarterback enough to say, hey, I'm going to allow you to go and put up these points, instead of saying, all right, well, I'm a little nervous, so we're just going to go ahead and kick it, That's just my opinion, though. At the end of the day, really, Tannehill had a decent, showing. He had no interceptions. He I think he went like 9 passes before he had his first incompletion.
do you think it was the quarterback or the coordinators that didn't really help for that?
I think it's a mixture of both. A lot of it is Tannehill's progressions, how he reads his field, because each quarterback will have different types of ways they progress through their play calling. So, I want if you want to get, kind of technical on it, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with each other. How much is it that the Titans don't trust, the quarterback throwing the ball, or how much is it that the Titans don't trust the play caller calling the ball? You know, but at the end of the day, it's kind of both, because the quarterback has to sit there and he has to progress through each of the passes, and it's up to him to deliver the ball to the open guy safely. Real quick, I want to go in here and pull up a couple more or another comment. I'm stumbling now. Your dad said, "Do we think about picking up Rodrigo?" And I cannot Blankenship.
I think it is Blankenship.
Blankenship. Yeah. A possibility. I'd have to look up our cap space. I wonder if we have room to really. I mean, we should surely after last year they left some wiggle room there. But yeah, I think honestly, you bring in anybody who you think can help elevate you from where you are. If you can bring somebody in that is a better skilled player at X position than what you already have, then bring that person in, and let them take that spot for sure. But yeah, I'd definitely have to do a little more research on him, because I don't know a lot about him. So, I mean, I could see that being a possibility, though. Especially after, because we had a lot of injuries. A lot of people missed practice today from injuries. So I don't have all that information in front of me, so I'm not going to really kind of break all that down on this episode. But if you go to the Titans official Facebook page or Twitter page, or if you have the Tennessee Titans app on your phone, you can definitely go on there and you can check out the list of people who were inactive or missed practice or was half participants in today's game. All right, so we covered just about everything from that game. We kind of mentioned Treylon Burks a few times, but we haven't really talked about Burks. So, you want to lead off with this segment, man?
Oh, I would love to see Treylon Burks be at the same type of level that he was at Arkansas, even further more skill. Just at least minimum the play skill he had at Arkansas.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of highlights. Unfortunately, last year I didn't even get to watch a lot of Titans football, let alone college football. So I didn't get to see, a lot of Treylon Burks, until we drafted him and I started, watching his games and stuff like that. And when I started studying Treylon Burks, the one thing I noticed is he was really consistent at being physical, at high pointing the ball. He was good at run blocking, and all of that stuff has shown up in in week 1. I think Treylon Burks had a stellar performance week 1, and I would have given anything to have Mike Vrabel make Tannehill target Treylon Burks a little bit more, because I think if you gave Treylon Burks more targets, I think he would have eventually topped that 100-yard mark in that game. But his performance, he came out hot, was bringing down passes. He had that one play where there was a little bit of miscommunication. But let's remember A.J. Brown when he first came into the league. Mariota was our quarterback, and A.J. Brown was running every other play wrong constantly. And unfortunately, that's a part of what cost Mariota that quarterback job, because Mariota wasn't able to get AJ into that right spot, but Ryan Tannehill eventually was, and because of that, man, my hair is all messed up right now, guys. It's driving me nuts. Should have wore a hat. Anyway, you know, that reference I made to AJ, you know, and I know people are sick of the whole AJ thing because I'm sick of it. But if we look at it, AJ didn't have a good start, you know, but he turned it around and ended up as one of the, you know, top end, you know, rookies that year. And then he came out and had a stellar year the next year and the year after, you know. And I think Burks is definitely showing that, you know, he is more than capable of being as reliable as A.J. Brown. You know, of course, this game's going to look a little different. You know, he's not A.J. Brown at the end of the day. But, you know, I think Burks has a lot to offer the Titans, and I'm really excited to kind of see that, you know. Oh, guys, you know, so that was our breakdown of Week 1. Are there any other things you want to talk about Week 1 before we move on to breaking down the Bills?
Well, just like what you were saying, comparing him to AJ, do you think he will be anywhere near how he was in his first year?
Yes. You know, I think if Tannehill targets him more, like he, you know, if he starts targeting him the way he was using Kyle Phillips towards the end of the game, you know, then yeah, I you know, any day, every day, yeah, Burks could be that guy, you know. If Tannehill chooses not to target him, or, you know, just the luck of the play don't fall in his favor, then no. I mean, you really can't help it. I mean, all you can do is get out there and be productive and you know, blocking or whatever it is, you know. So it really, at the it comes down to Tannehill slash the coordinators, because they do have certain play calls that are just specifically designed for certain players. Even though Mike Vrabel don't want to, you know, come out and say that, you know, you see it, you know, but a lot of it goes to the progression of the quarterback. So I think you give it a couple more games. Like I said during our live game coverage, don't base your opinion, you know, for the whole season, you know, right out the gate, week 1 or week 2 or even week 3. It's going to take a good, you know, 4 or 5 games for you to get a good feel and understanding of, okay, this is our team. This is who we have. You know, this is what we're capable of doing, you know. It's really early, and anybody can get caught off guard. I mean, look at Cincinnati, and the way they started out last year, you know, and then how they came on strong and ended up, you know, going deep into playoffs. You know, you never know. It's just a little too soon to kind of say, you know. If I think, I'm sorry, I'm losing track. It's a little too soon for me to place my judgment on that team, you know, for the long haul. But yeah, man. So let's break down the Bills here. What are your concerns going into, you know, this Monday Night Football match?
Really concerned about Josh Allen and how he will play, especially since it's in Buffalo. It'll be even scarier.
Yeah, are you more concerned on, you know, Josh Allen, or, you know, rather Tannehill can go against that defense? Because that's where my concern's at.
That's a tough one. I think Josh Allen, because the more points they put up, the more we have to put up, and all around it's just, if he does good, it's not going to go good.
Yeah, I agree. Tannehill has to, you know, our defense have to, you know, show out against Josh Allen, you know, because he's going to come back wanting revenge after that slip up he had, you know, or so-called slip up he had. But also, I'm really concerned about Tannehill. I'm concerned with our offensive line. I know we said, oh well, they did good against the Giants. Okay, well the Giants was missing two of their premier edge rushers, so we really can't judge how our O-line did because they were going against backups. Now we're going against, a top offense and a top defense. This is the most completed team I believe we will be facing all year long. I think right now the Bills are the most dangerous team in the NFL. So I'm really concerned with Tannehill. I think week 2 is going to be the answer to my question about Tannehill, whether or not I personally think he will be able to ever get any team to the Super Bowl. Because here's the thing, Tannehill's great. He can get you to the playoffs. He can put you in a position to win a game. He's great at doing that. Now here's the bad part. Tannehill struggles with winning you the game off of his arm talent. Tannehill also struggles in the playoffs, being able to be productive in the playoffs. So I think this is going to be the telltale sign for Tannehill. This will tell us what we're going to see in the playoffs. If Tannehill gets out here and really looks like he did against Cincy, I think that answers our questions. Outside of that, I think there's going to be some good matchups. I'm really excited to see Bud Dupree, Jeffrey Simmons, and I'm almost said his name again. Rashad Weaver. I think Reaver had a decent level, and that's somebody I forgot to talk about too. I think Reaver did pretty good, for where he is. I think he had a decent game. So I'm really excited to kind of see, those three get out there and mix it up on the field again. Big Jeff is just feasting on people. Man, guys, so this game, which is the Chargers versus Chiefs, on Monday Night Football, the Chargers are up 17-14 over the Chiefs with 1:17 left in the third quarter. Chiefs struggling here, guys, and that's something I kind of figured we'd see this year. Anyway, back on topic. What are some things you feel like the Titans have to fix this year, or for this game?
Some things they need to fix.
Yeah.
Definitely make sure offensive coordinator and everyone is on the right page. Make sure they're not confused, because it seemed like a lot of players were confused on the field. So that's something we definitely need to make sure everyone's on the right page. Everyone's just ready to go.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, you want everybody to come out, know their job, know their assignments. Know their assignments, and be able to communicate well with others, and play freely. And by that I mean, don't overthink it while you're on the field. Don't you. A lot of times you overthink it, and then you put yourself in a tougher situation. So yeah, I think the keys to success for the Tennessee Titans this week is going to be, ball protection and security. It's going to be, getting pressure on the QB, getting off the field on third downs, and putting up points in the red zone. Getting to the red zone, I should say. Those are going to be our keys to success. We have to find a way to limit the big explosive plays from Josh Allen, because you're not going to be able to eliminate them all. But if you can find a way to limit those plays, then you give your team a chance to win. So we need to find a way to limit those explosive plays from Josh Allen. Our offensive line is going to have to hold up against their defensive front. Their defense has Von Miller, and he was feasting. He was feasting. Let's not get that wrong. This man was feasting, in the season opener. So we got to keep Tannehill up. I'm trying to think, man. And yeah, the play calling. I think I had this low, and I mean, I wouldn't really bank on this, guys. This is just me being, me crazy and silly. Uh, but I figured, my what am I trying to say? I'm losing train of thought here. Uh, my theory, my week one theory is that the Tennessee Titans coaching staff used week one as a setup with particular play calls that were just boneheaded and you know stupid to possibly lead on other teams to think, okay, well, there's nothing different between last year and this year. To get them planning for one thing, and then you actually come out and you show your new playbook or your play calls or however. I think that could be something we see. I think going into Monday Night Football, we're going to see a completely different Titans team. It's going to be a tough one because the Bills are coming for revenge against the Titans because we've squashed them the last 3 times we faced them. So, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a hard fought game, and it's going to be a Monday night. Unfortunately, no Manning cast though. So for the second year in a row, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning are skipping the Monday night Tennessee Titans game. So kind of sad on that. Man, anything else you like to kind of talk about, going into week 2? What is something, here you go. What's something you're looking forward to seeing in week 2?
I'm looking forward to see what Derrick Henry can do. I think he can prove what everyone else is saying wrong. They're saying he didn't even have a terrible game, but they're saying he's not a good running back anymore, and it doesn't make sense after 1 week. And I really think he's going to prove them wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree, man. And then your dad also said, the Buffalo fans are going to be loud. Oh, dude, let me tell you, man. I've never been to a Buffalo game, but they get down. Like, you could tell they get down. I mean, anybody who's going to WWE slam yourself through a table, just for your football team, y'all get down. Like, just make sure you give me some of those beers first. I'm joking. But, no. I imagine their tailgates are crazy up there. That would be an experience. But I wouldn't want to go because I'm a Titans fan and I back my two-tone blue no matter what. I think the fans, and you know what? Now thinking about it, the fans are going to be a big part in this game. That hostile environment. We have a team full of a lot of rookies as well. And since you said that, it just kind of clicked in my head. That could be a problem, an issue for the Titans. So that could be something we need to watch out for, because a lot of them might not have a experience in a hostile environment like that, to this standard yet, because in my opinion, the NFL can be completely different at times than college football. But then at the same time, college football can be crazy too when it comes to their fan bases. So the fans will definitely play a big part. Hopefully the Titans fans shows up and shows out to this game. I think last year we traveled strong to all of our away games, so hopefully that would be something as us fans we'll be able to carry over for our team this year, is that we travel strong to these away games for them. All right, guys, so with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out this episode for this week. Real quick, I want to just take the time to thank our new co-host right here, Mason. Mason, thank you, buddy, for joining us. Man, you did an awesome, stellar job today yourself. Before we go, is there anything you'd like to say to everybody tuned in to us?
Well, thank you everyone for watching, and thank you so much for inviting me. This was great.
Yeah, man, no problem. Like, I love having you here. Love talking football. And I think we have a lot of stuff that we can bring. Not only to the team, but also to you guys, the fans watching. So before we go, guys, if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. Button turn on notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans, as well as give us a big old thumbs up. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our video and we'll pop up more often. Real quick, guys, Monday 5:30 p.m. Central Time, join me live on YouTube for our live game post-game coverage of the Tennessee Titans and Buffalo Bills. Now I know you're thinking, wait a second, does the game start that early? No, it don't. But I'm coming to y'all early to bring y'all extra content and to be able to talk about the games, things I'm looking for, things I'm going to be keeping my eye out on, the whole 9 yards. Last week I wasn't able to bring y'all a post-game coverage video. I had a lot of stuff kind of going on behind scenes. So hopefully we'll be able to bring y'all post-game coverage of the press conferences from the games. This week or this Monday. And then one last thing, guys, before we get out of here, be checking us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify, because we're probably going to be sitting down having a meeting later this week, and we're thinking about moving our actual day our podcast episode is streamed on and time. So we're all going to kind of sit together. We're going to chit chat about days and times, and we want to try and come to y'all, a lot earlier on during the day, but also maybe a couple days earlier on in the week. We'll work on that, and just be staying tuned on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our website as well. We'll be on all of them, letting y'all know. When our actual next episode will be airing and when the new times and days are going to be. So with all that being said, guys, love you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Everybody take care.